Hi all. Right, welcome back. Enemy Action Kharkov, German Solo, part 13. I've just realised I've not taken my disperse markers off. Okay, yeah, I just stopped and obviously walked away. Give me a sec, let me fix that. Okay, there we go, that's better. Right, so about to start a new turn. Not sure how much time I've got. It's bordering on a late night episode here. I should have, I thought I was going to get back a bit earlier, but I didn't. And I wanted to try and get a little bit more in, see if we can get the turn started. Anything to talk about? There's been a few comments regarding my last couple of questions. I told you I did get a reply from Martin regarding the whole bit about being adjacent to another Soviet unit, wasn't it? And I think I've been a bit sort of daft with that one, and it's just me. You read it in the rules, and you see. But then I read the previous one, in the rules, and like I've just commented, John Brown made the comment, and he realised that he started playing it rules as written and realised that it probably should be the same as what it was in the Soviet Solo, and it should have been altered a little bit to take care of that situation. You should look at his reply, because he sets it out quite well about how these games should look at what they want to do, as if he's got an insight into how Mr. Butterfield designs the AI. Like it wants to surround, it wants to flank, it wants to go to empty hex, and these are all in a sort of priority. He sets it out quite well, actually, but I'll let you go and read that yourself. And I guess, like I say, I'm reading it in the rules, and I'm still not quite clicking. But it kind of came home there earlier today when I realised that, it's exactly the same questions I brought up, and it was in my playthrough that Mr. Butterfield then said, "Oh, right, we didn't. How did that get by and whatever? And that shouldn't be like that." And he's changed the wording, and I'm pretty sure eventually he's going to come and change the wording to this as well. So we're going to play it like that from now on until we hear something different, because it makes more sense. Okay. Also, John commented on how to deal with moving adjacent to multiple German units, and he had an interesting take on that. He did. I wish I had the post up just now. I'm not want to go into it too deeply just now, but I like the way he set it out, and he looked at movement method, then 9.24. Is it 9.23? Is it not? I thought we said 9.24, but 9.24 is tiebreakers. No, that's right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, 9.23 is the restrictions. So what I think, obviously you're always considering the restrictions, but I think what John was saying, the way he looked at it is movement methods, then 9.24, which are tiebreakers, then 9.25, which are tactical preferences when moving adjacent to German units, and then back to movement method tiebreakers, 9.24. I like that. I wish it was written there or something said that that's the way you deal with it. But then he did then go into some other things that, well, this could happen, that how would you deal with this? So there's maybe a bit more find out about this situation. So maybe the whole, because he talks about he would pick the least strength German unit, and that's within's. I mean, that's the one I bring up, isn't it? Is it movement method 11? It's one to find the least strength. So should that be then the German unit that you want to 9.25 roundabout, rather than the other units? yeah, there's maybe more to find out, like I say. But yeah, I don't want to go into too much of that tonight. Well, better leave that, and I'd like to still hope John's going to come on. John Butterfield's going to come on and maybe make some comments on these things, and maybe yeah. Okay, so where we at? End the turn, yeah. Well, I think no, we finished the turn. Yes, we have. I just forgot to take the disperse markers off. And we move the turn marker on. So I'm just looking at the back of the rule book here, so hopefully that's going to keep me right. Sequence of play. Summary. Yeah, no. I should go inside really. 4.0. Yeah, let's just look at it in the rule book just in case. Okay, sequence of play. So step 1, reserve phase, from turn 2 onwards. Well, that's where we are. We're on turn 2. Take all units from the calendar space for the current game turn and place them in their respective reserve units box. Right, going to do that. Well, to be honest, it wasn't much to do. It was this unit here that was in the reserve units box, and that was on the calendar, and he's now in the reserve units box. And just while we're up there, let's just have a quick look at the calendar rather than come back up here again. This is turn 2. We're between February the 4th and the 6th. You'll see the fixed artillery range is moving up to 3. It's maybe a little bit in shadow there because of that light, but it's up to 3 from 2 the previous turn. German hand size is still 4. German supplemental cards are 4. So that's up by 1 because we had 2 the last turn plus the one we started in hand. So that gives us an extra card, I think. So the artillery barrage is still in play. Start German supply. So we need to check for supply, which, okay, maybe I didn't really think about. I think we're okay. Yeah. And then, what else? Start German strategic movement. Okay, well that's a good thing as well then. And then, right, so I'll just put that back. So not much in the way of reserves. You can see there's a lot more for the Soviets come turn 3. That's when we get these 40 core units. And then turn 4 is when it starts happening for us. So, and of course that's when the first victory check is. Now, I remember saying that I couldn't read it on the calendar, but back when I first started, and I was grumbling about the fact that I do think it was the lack of an extra calendar inside the page, or an extra page with the calendar on it, probably was I would have preferred it anyway. So anyway, you can just about see it. It's less than 12 victory points is a German strategic victory. So that, however, is by the end of turn 4, and they're sitting at 5 victory points now. There's a big K in there though as well, which must be relevant to something. K. Yeah, I don't know. It's not on the calendar anyway. It's got it at the end there, and then down here it's got it at the beginning. Okay, right. I'm not sure what that is, but we don't need to worry about things till turn 4. And if we wanted to have if the feat is then to have greater than 24 victory points come the end of turn 4. So that first one is probably not really going to be a consideration for us. Even though we're only on 5 points, they're only on 5 points just now. That's only turn 1 going. It's going to get worse. So we need to want to have less. We want them to have less than. Well, we want them to have 24 points or less come the end of turn 4. And obviously lower than that the better. I'm guessing they'll probably have the same situation regarding their support as well. Remember we needed, well, I say remember, but maybe you didn't watch my Soviet Solo 21 victory points was the big thing, but then that wasn't until I thought it was turn 4, and then it ended up being turn 8 or something. Right, anyway, that's reserve phase taken care of. What's next? So from turn 3 onwards, I'd be able to deploy to the map any German units in the reserve units box with a printed dent return. Right, I don't have any units in my reserve units box, and this is not from turn 3 onwards anyway, so forget about that. So card prep, right, using my command card display, right, it's very, in fact I think it's identical to the Soviet soul of this. Okay, I've moved this round at a rather strange angle because when I put the camera here, I was getting a big glare from the light, so I figured I would be able to get away with it that way. Yeah, that's fine, you can see what's going on. Do we need to zoom in? No, probably not, because we've got, these are our cards that are going to come into play, I think. Okay, so cards due to come into play this turn, I've got them set out in order. So game turn 2, game turn 2, game turn 2, game turn 2. So there's 4 cards. I'll put these back. Now they go face down in the draw pile if primary, or face down in the supplemental, available supplemental if supplemental. Well, again, they're all supplemental. Yeah, I don't think maybe they just kept the word in. There's not any more primary, because oh no, I tell a lie. There is a couple, right, okay. That's why it's there then. There's a couple to come. So these are all supplemental cards. So they go face down in the available supplementals, which is here, for game turn 2. And then we shuffle the available supplementals, which I will do. Okay, all shuffled up, and we draw the number of cards indicated in the calendar for this game turn placed face down in the draw pile box. So I think I said that it was 4, wasn't it? Just looking back up the calendar here. German supplemental is 4, and our hand size is 4 as well, which is just the same. So we're going to draw the first 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got 2 left that are going to be available. So again, it looks like maybe a 2. So you've got that randomness of what's the 2 left over. And then place all supplemental discards from the previous turn, which were these 3, and they are all supplementals, so they go face down in here. Obviously we only get a shot of them, and then next turn we might see them again, unless they happen to be the random ones that are left behind. And then place all the primary discards, which are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 5 of them. They go in here. We shuffle this up and draw the cards indicated on the calendar for this game turn to form my initial hand, which is 4. So I'll shuffle this up and I'll draw 4 cards. Okay, that's that done. It's shuffled up, and there's my 4 cards. But I've not looked at them yet. And yeah, that's it. And then for the Soviet draw pile, yeah, for the Soviet cards, I'm pretty sure we just mix it. Well, no, they've got to check as well. They do have 2 or 3 cards that come in, don't they? So, add Soviet cards scheduled to end or play this game turn to the Soviet card deck. Shuffle the deck, including this card from the previous game turn to form the Soviet draw pile. Right, there's some cards up here. So these were the cards set aside. This is for game turn 2, right enough. So this is going to come into play. And there's 2 cards. Sorry, maybe not showing that right. So I'm trying to look at the side of the camera. These are for game turn 3, so I'll leave these just up there out of the way for the moment. So basically everything gets shuffled. And remember, the reason that deck is full was because we had to shuffle it back up to draw a combat tactic for the last combat, as we had run out of cards. Right, I'll get this shuffled up. Okay, that's done, and so they got 1 extra card, was it? Yeah, so 1 extra card in their draw pile. Okay, that's that done. Okay, then move on to supply phase. This is from turn 2+ as well. Conduct the following steps in sequence. Right, from turn 4 plus, we place Soviet garrison markers on vacant villages and Soviet VPXs. Well, we're not at turn 4 yet, so let's move on past that. Turn 2, we determine the supply status of all German units, and then from 4 plus, all Soviet units. We remove all out of supply and isolated markers from units determined to be in supply. And then step 3 is adjust supply status, place an out of supply marker on each unsupplied unit. If a unit is already out of supply, place an isolated marker. If already isolated, conduct surrender. So, yeah, okay, well, we need to check that first, and then there's a couple other steps that are not going to happen in this turn as well. Right, do I need to check supply rules? I'm pretty sure it's just the same. I don't recall coming across anything that was different. But just have a glance, Grant. Yeah, just while glancing at that, going to bring this to my attention again. A German unit can't end its move or advance in a hex from which German supply can't be traced. The exception is 10.5. What is that? Where's 10.5? Oh, I think if it starts that way, something like that. German unit can't end its move or advance after combat in a hex from which it can't trace supply. Exception: a German unit that starts its move or advance in a hex from which it can't trace supply, and is unable to move or advance to a hex from which it can trace supply, is not bound by this restriction. Okay. I got the feeling I was going to read that it has to try and get back to supply, but that's not saying that. Is it? Exception: a German unit starts its move or advance in a hex from which it can't trace supply, and is unable to move or advance to hex from which it can trace supply, is not bound by this restriction. Okay, I got the feeling that I had to try and be moving back into supply, but well, you know what? Well, when that comes up, we'll maybe review that again. So tracing supply, it's just the same, isn't it? And I think it's only the Soviets that have the, what is it? Reserve supply? Yeah, Soviet reserve supply. Yeah. Yeah, supply. From there, 7 hex path, can't pass through enemy town. Yeah. I don't recall reading anything that was different there. So okay, let's check supply. I don't think we've got any issues though, and we've got much more freedom to trace supply. Although I remember reading that the Soviets have a bit more than what we got when we were playing as the Soviets, which is fair enough. Again, it could be something. Their map edge on the, what is that, south? North? Yeah, north. This is their north map edge, so that stretches, this is for the Soviets right down to here. So we've only got that smaller bit there. And then obviously they are right along up the top on the east map edge to here, and then the Germans carry on from there, and then all the rest is all Germans. And now, does it have? Are they restricted where the Germans were with reserve supply? No, they're not. So it's more straightforward there. So they can trace from there right down to there, and then we get the rest of the map. So as long as we're coming west, which is down, as long as we're coming down, then there's not really an issue. So that's why I'm looking and thinking this guy can go 1, 2 on the road, and I'm sure he can find something. He's fine. These guys are fine. This is fine. These guys are fine. The Soviets might eventually move down and interfere with our roads, but at the moment there's nothing. This is fine, and then this is this is our map edge hex as well, so we can trace off there, or elsewhere. And there's nothing kind of stuck in behind the lines there. So no problems there. And the Soviets get freedom from supply checks until turn 4. Is it? Yeah, I think it was. I moved off the page then. Right. Well, the last 2 parts of that were step 4 was from turn 8 onwards, check the VP level to determine which Soviet support line you used throughout the game turn. So that's the one that caught me out in the Soviet solo game. Well, at first I thought it was from turn 4, and then when I realised it was from turn 8, I kind of let my guard slip, and that is a very important part to me, I think, if you're playing Soviet solo. So my guess is it's probably almost important in this game for the Soviets. So if we can keep them to the eastern support line, which is back there, we're going to have a much better time with it. So, but that might not be a choice we have, to be honest. And then step 5 is turn 7, we check for front objective marker removal. Okay. So that's all the other bits done. Now we're in the command phase. Alternate conducting impulses for both sides, beginning with a Soviet impulse, and then off we go. Right, so it's the Soviets that get to start. I think we should have a look at our hand though. I think that would be a good idea. Okay, there's our starting hand. Remember, we have no reserves. It seems a bit harsh, doesn't it? Okay. I don't start getting to assign replacement points until turn 3, so we can ignore that option. We've got 3 primary cards. We've got the 4th Panzer Army card, so anything interesting? Event-wise, no. Well, apart from the fact this can be any event, but well, any command event, not a special event. Combat tactics wise, this is anything. This is assault coordination, artillery, air power. We're probably not really wanting to look at any of that just as of yet. Yeah, we're still kind of like just try to protect things, I think. Yeah, I'm not so sure that's a great hand, is it? Because do I want to do anything with the 2nd SS? Do I want to do anything with the 40th Panzer Corps? Well, I did say that maybe start of the turn I might consider having a go at that if I thought I could follow it up and maybe try and get around and have a chance of taking Slovaks back. I mean, stealing 2 victory points back off them, but I'm maybe been getting a bit ahead of myself there. I don't know, maybe. You know, we could I don't know, reinforce the baton. We've got this to use. We could yeah, I don't know. And then Corps Rouse card, don't know, 4th Panzer Army, right? What does it do? Activate all units in 1/4 Panzer Army Corps, or activate all 4th Panzer Army and Corps Rouse units within 2 hexes of a hex of your choice. Activate all 4th Panzer Army within 2 hexes. Okay, right. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But then again, what card did I want to see, really? I don't know. I'm still on the defensive. I'm still trying to just wait and see. I guess I'm waiting to see what the Soviets do, really. Maybe a defensive kind of combat tactic might have been nice. I mean, yeah, okay, we can use this for anything, but artillery, air power and assault coordination don't really help us. Maybe a screen or a pull out, something like that. Okay, well, that's your hand grant. So we're going to see what the Soviets are doing first. So I'm hopefully going to get a Soviet impulse in here, and then that'll probably be me for the night, I think. So let's have a look. Right, okay, Soviet impulse. First Soviet impulse off turn 2. And yeah, let's go. Right, so 2 cards. Third tank primary. Mobile group Popov. Ooh, that's just supplemental card. Well, yeah. Anyway, that's a primary card, so that is going to be there, and that is going to be there. Air Power and Partisans, third tank. Yeah, I think there's a good chance they'll use that Air Power and Partisans, which in some ways I'd rather have that happen, because these are obviously two strong armies, and if we're going to use that for Air Power and Partisans, I think that's probably better for us. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, there's no event. Well, there is an event, but it's from turn 5. So we're not using that. We're looking at the command card, and we're going to activate all units and third tank army. So I'll move the camera up and we'll have a look. Okay, so activate all units in third tank. 1, 2, 3. There's a bunch here, and this looks like a stack of 3 of them. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we need to check their objective is here. Is that on camera? Yeah, I've got it zoomed out. So Vornes front objective markers here. There's a German unit in it, so it would only get removed if we had a unit from the Vornes front adjacent to it. This guy's 1 hex away, so my guess is that there's a good chance that that might be going to go and happen for the next time that they're going to activate, or the next time a Vornes front unit's going to activate. It could well be that we're going to move the objective marker, but not just now. So let me see. Yeah, I still feel I should really try it with a player aid though. I mean, I got used to it in the Soviet solo, and I'm fine with it in the combat. I don't know. When I look at the movement, it just bothers me a lot. Let's try it. Okay, so I've checked the front objective marker. We're not moving it. Okay. We've never activated the 40th Army yet, have we? How was that? Did they not? How can... wait a minute. What was the card we... That's sure, there's something wrong, is there not? Or did we draw it? I mean, these are the 2 cards that are going to come in game turn 3. The card that I added for game turn 2, I want to say it was the Vornes front card, I think. I didn't really study it, I just put it in there, but I think there was one of the front cards. So that's a 40th Army Units card. There must be... Yeah, we must have just got lucky and skipped the buy it. It must have just got used for combat tactics. But do they not have a primary card? Mind you, hang on, yeah, they do. This is clearly a primary card. There must be a primary card for the 40th Army. And if we'd drawn it for a combat tactic, it would have got shuffled in, would it not? Well, I don't know. I mean, I had this. I've got the number of cards. Should I count the cards, maybe? Yeah, it does say there's 22 Soviet enemy cards. I've counted 22 there. 2 of which are still not in the game yet because they're for turn 3. But So unless, unless for some reason we're missing a card, you know, unless there's some kind of mix up with the cards, should I have a look? I don't want to disturb time and look through the cards. How else could it have happened if we drew, I mean, I think it's quite strange that we went right through that turn and we never activated 40th Army. Right, give me a sec. Right, I thought about going to have a look through video footage, but because I just feel like I shouldn't be like looking at the deck and then reshuffling it. But you know what? I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to have a glance at the deck and make sure that there's a 40th Army card in here, and then I'll reshuffle the deck. Because, yeah, it just feels a bit odd. Unless, I mean, could it be that the 40th Army don't have a primary card? Because they're a smaller arm. Oh, you know what? I'm going to look and just to make sure, because if it's not, then maybe there's something wrong. I didn't look through all the cards. I mean, it says we've got 22 cards and they're marked turn E01 to E22. I mean, I didn't go through that and look, you know. So I'm just gonna have a quick glance while we're here. Right, I can see a black card already. Right, okay. Right, okay. There is two 40th Army cards here, and just to show you, I'm not quite sure how we got past this card then. I don't know. They are there. That must have just been the way it worked. Could have drawn it near the end when it didn't shuffle in, or something like that. Or could it be I made a mistake? Let's hope not. Well, if it is, it's a mistake that's going to have to go, I think. Right, I'll shuffle these back up and then we'll move on. Okay, that's me interfered with time and the universe and that. God knows what will happen to me in the night when I go to bed. Anyway, right. So activate all units in the army. What are we? Right, we're going to try and do the play raid bit. So I've checked the objective marker. That's fine. This is still 1 to 4, so all units are checking AS2. Right. So take VP hex. Okay, a bit closer this time because not a gap, but of all chance, because obviously within distance for these guys, but there's I had a bit of a scare there. I thought he was able to move through, but no. He's got to stop on reaching this hex or this hex. There's not a gap here for him to just stroll through. Chugayev we've got control of. Zmiyev is the other one. Again, no gap through here. But I think after these third tank units move, and this is why this is when the cards in our hand really become relevant, because if they do kind of make a wee hole in the wall here or here, then our second SS card in our hand or a core Rouse card in our hand will try and do something about that. So yeah, so looking at the cards in your hand from the beginning before the Soviets have done anything is probably not when you need to be looking at them. Right, okay. So no VP hexes that they can go and take, no. No gaps yet. Right, so I'm sure they're going to try and alter that situation. Right, adjacent to German VP hex and near objective. Well, yes. Well, I say yes, maybe. Because it looks like these, well, third tank can get here, which is adjacent. They can also get here, and this is a VP, this is a objective. So, and yeah, they could get adjacent to here as well. So they've got plenty of opportunities here. So we're going to see something here. Right. In ascending order, right? What have we got here? We've got, that's 9, 8, 9, 16. These should be in order. We've got 1, 3, and 24 here. So 1's on top here. 34, 26, and 6. They don't have any reserve units in the reserve units box, just to remind ourselves of that. So, Unit 1, okay. Move to a hex closer to or within 4 hexes of the front objective and adjacent to German VP hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's within 4 as well. What's the other instruction? If start adjacent to most preferred VP hex. If start adjacent. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I still just feel the rulebook is calling me for this, I'm afraid. I'm sure maybe when I get through turn 2, it might, that's whatever, yeah. Just sometimes the way it's worded, I know it's meant to be quicker for you, but I'm obviously slower at getting things. A Soviet unit starting adjacent to German VPX within 4 hexes of the objective marker. Yeah, so it's starting adjacent to German VPX, yeah. And that's what it did say, to be honest with you. Coming up, try and persevere. Come on. Well, I'll keep the rulebook home and then look at it. So, move to a hex closer to or within 4 hexes of front objective and adjacent to German VP hex. Prefer VP hex A, targeted exclusive by active front, B, with least German strength, C, not across the Dnieper River hex outline. Let's just let's look at Unit 1 and see what hexes he can reach, because he could be looking here, he could be looking here, or he could be looking here. My guess is, obviously this is an objective marker, so it might well be that it's just a straightforward looking there, but let me mark some options and we'll have a look. Right, okay, right, there's no cubes, as you can see. So just want to get this one clear, because move to a hex closer to or within 4, right, I'm not going to read the within 4 hexes, but, so move to a hex closer to, and adjacent, yeah, sorry, move to a hex closer to the unit's objective marker and adjacent to a German VP hex. It can be a little bit tricky to read that one, and it's because it's got the or within 4. So we can move adjacent to any of these 3 VP hexes, right? I've quickly looked at that, but our preferences are a VP hex A, targeted exclusively by the active front. So this is Vornez front, this is Vornez front, this is Vornez front. I've not looked outside day 3, but I don't think there are any. Remember, we're considering Unit 1 here. There's nothing across there, so yeah. So they're all Vornez front, so let's move on. The next, and I had to look at the rulebook for this one, because, but I'm forgetting we're actually looking at the VP hex. Because on the player aid it just says with least German strength, and I was kind of like, eh? But I'm forgetting we're targeting the VP hex, yeah. So it's occupied by the least German strength. Well, between these 3, there's nothing in here. There's 5 strength in here, and there's nothing in here. So I'm assuming that 0 strength is less than 5, and we're not going to consider moving to this, we're going to consider moving to one of these, as long as we can move closer to our front objective. Well, actually, that's a point. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it? Is 1, 2, 3, 4 away just now? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that hex would make him 1, 2, 3 away. And can he not? No, he can't get into that hex. No, because there's no gap. So in actual fact, that would make him closer to that. And this one, what, Zmiyev, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he'd be 2 hexes away. So he'd actually be closer to his objective from Zmiyev than what he would be from Volchansk. And yeah, okay. So, I mean, occupied by the least German strength, yeah. Nothing is surely the least, yeah. Not across a Dnieper River hex side from the moving unit's hex. Right, well, we're not anywhere near the Dnieper River, so that's fine. D with the highest VP value. Okay. Highest VP value, well, they're all ones, right, okay. And I say they're all ones, to be honest, with this one's out the equation, it's really this one and this one, because they've got the lower strength. Yeah, that's kind of okay. And then it says the Soviet unit starting adjacent to German VPX. Well, they're not. None of he's not adjacent. Right. Okay. So I think we need to tie break. So the thing is here though. See. Now here's where I'm starting to wonder, because if this guy moves 1, 2, 3, 4, he's moving adjacent to this German unit. Right, and his movement method here is to get adjacent to a VP hex and be closer to his objective. Is that right? Yeah. Or, well, it says or move the hex closer to, or within 4 hexes. Yeah, that's hard to get your head around, that one. I know somebody actually asked a question on this quite recently. I think it might have been David, sorry, I forgot your second name, David, who's followed my videos, and he actually answered it. And yet I'm reading it here just now and struggling to get my head around it. Move the hex closer to or within 4 hexes. Yeah. So that that means that you don't actually have to be getting closer to, as long as you're in within 4 hexes of the objective. Is that right? And then you're adjacent to a German VP hex. Yeah. Starting to think I should have maybe just left this till tomorrow again. Okay. Well, yeah, I get the feeling I'm not going to get right through this anyway, so we'll maybe just make a start to things. And who knows, I might actually, that's me at 44 minutes now, isn't it? So I might actually just have a wee short part here and we can pick it up tomorrow. So yeah, what I was saying there was the fact that we're moving to here, becoming adjacent to this German unit. Should we then just move straight to 9.25? Well, let's just say, where can he reach? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's that hex there, or yeah, you can't get in there. So there is 2 options that are adjacent to the least strength German units, which was the second preference. Yeah, because they're both targeted by the active front. They're both targeted by Voronezh front, the VP hexes anyway. And they're both occupied by the least German strength, which is 0. Not across the Dnieper River hex side. With the highest VP value, they're both 1s. And that's that. That's as far as we can go. So if we then jump to tiebreakers, so let's just do it that way. I mean, it feels right, this, but I think Martin was saying that we should just jump right to 9.25. Which, you know what, it could be right, because you're going to tie break, and then you're going to look, well, no, Grant. No, I need to tie break between these two, don't I? So, that doesn't work then. Well, it certainly doesn't work with this situation. Yeah, okay. I think this is one that I'm going to need more explanation on how to deal with this, I think. Right, so tiebreakers would be closest to the unit's objective marker if in play. So that's going to be there, because that's 1, 2, 3 away, and that's only 1, 2 away. So that tie breaks to there. Yeah, I have to do that first, because I can't 9.25 round both of these, surely. Surely I need to find the unit. But then again, this is what I was asking before. Well, no, I wasn't really. I was asking about the situation when you moved adjacent to like multiple German units. How do you deal with that? This is not movement. We need to decide which one we're moving adjacent to. And yeah, it's going to be that one because it's closer. That's the tiebreaker. Now, I might adjust. Now, hang on. I could have been there as well with this one. No, it's adjacent to the VP hex. Sorry. Yeah, so I don't. Even 9.25 is not going to change that. That guy's actually going to move there, isn't he? And that'll be that. 9.25 cannot change it. It's the only hex that you can reach adjacent to this unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just realised I forgot to get my units all ready for action. Yeah, I'm rubbish at this, John. Sorry. Again, it's a full activation of an army, so although I don't know if I would do it, I would probably be the same, and once I get a unit's activation, I bet it'll be the same. Anyway, until I then say, oh right, I could do with knowing which units are active here. Right, yeah, because that is the only hex you can reach adjacent to this VP hex. Now see, that's a worry. I mean, I was saying, right, well, I've got this protected, I'm outside it. Remember the first movement method for these guys, right? And you would say, well, wait now, he can't move into that because he's going from zone of control to zone of control. He can't move from there to there, that's zone of control to zone of control. Remember what it is? Urban infiltration, right? And it's step 1, isn't it? Take VP hex. Urban infiltration. If starting adjacent to the town city hex, move into that hex regardless of German zones of control. So if he activates again, the situation was like this, and we've not got anybody in there, he's taking that victory point. So we now know what we're doing next turn. We're activating the second SS, and more than likely moving this guy out and in, I would think. It's not a bad place for him to be, actually, because he's then the other side of the river as well. Okay. Right, no restrictions broken. And like I say, it was the only hex he could reach adjacent to the VP to his target. So we don't, 9.25 doesn't even come in at that. Yeah, okay. Right, I think I'm going to have to leave things like this. I mean, it's a terrible place to cut the part though, Grant, but I would say I'd add it on, but I'm at 50 minutes right now. Yeah, it's a kind of terrible place to cut. Well, what I could do is move this guy back and just leave a cube. So it makes it look a bit better. So I've activated my units, but I haven't started moving them because it would seem it'd be a bit worse even moving one unit. But I think that's where that guy's going to go. Yeah, I maybe shouldn't have started this tonight, to be honest. Okay, well, we got the start of the turn kicked in and then kind of yacked on a bit, I think. Yeah, because I don't know how I got to 50 minutes there. It's because it's you, Grant. Okay. Right, well, if I cut this and then that's part 13, that's 50 minutes of just the in. Really? Did we do anything else? Check supply. Put a reserve unit in the reserve units box. Have I missed something? Well, I was looking through cards, wondering if I'd made a mistake with the cards. Okay. Right, okay, well, I guess we just need to continue from this. So I might as well just save this as a part. So, yeah, apologies if because it's just like in the middle of something, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish tonight anyway. And the fact we're at 50 odd minutes seems better to just cut this as a part and then you can continue. Okay. Let's do that. I know it's a bit rubbish. Sorry, guys. Right, I'll be back tomorrow with part 14, I think. Yeah, okay, cheers.